My wealthy family called me a financial burden at Christmas, so I canceled the secret $10,000 monthly allowance I was sending them. They raised their glasses at Christmas dinner, laughed at the table, and then called me a financial burden right to my face. What they didn't know, every single month, I was secretly sending them $10,000. And that night, I decided to stop. Welcome back to the channel. This one is about disrespect, hidden generosity, and the moment someone finally says, enough is enough. But before we dive in, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? Drop your country and city in the comments. I love seeing how far this community reaches around the world. And if you enjoy dramatic family stories, shocking twists, and satisfying karma moments like this one, make sure you subscribe, like this video, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new upload. Trust me. By the end of this story, you'll be asking yourself one question. How well do you really know the burden sitting at your table? There is no cruelty quite like the cruelty of people who think their bank account makes them better human beings. My family thinks I'm a failure, while my brother Mark is a high-powered broker and my sister Chloe married a real estate mogul. I'm just a lowly software developer who works from home in sweatpants. For 5 years, I've endured every holiday being the punchline of their jokes. They call me the financial burden of the family. They think my parents' luxurious retirement, the cruises, the country club, the $2 million estate, is funded by Mark's genius investments. They don't realize that Mark's firm went bust in 2020, and I've been the one quietly wiring $10,000 a month to my parents' account to keep them from losing everything. I did it out of love. But at Christmas dinner, when they tried to seat me at the kids' table to save room for Chloe's billionaire friends, the love officially ran out. I didn't yell. I didn't even drop my fork. I just pulled out my phone under the table. I logged into my private wealth management portal, the one that manages my patents and the software I sold to a Silicon Valley giant 3 years ago. You're right, Mark, I said, standing up. Shared responsibility is important, and if I'm not contributing, I shouldn't have a seat at the table. I hit 3 buttons on my screen. 1. Recurring transfer, canceled. 2. Mortgage subsidy, stopped. 3. Emergency credit card, Mark's, deactivated.
Where are you going? My mother asked, looking annoyed. The main course isn't even served. I'm going to go be poor, somewhere else, I said, grabbing my coat. Oh, and Mark, you might want to check your email. I just sent a financial burden notice to your firm. Since I'm the silent majority shareholder of the building your office is in, your rent is going up 300% on Monday. Consider it a life lesson in coattails. The calls started before I even got to my car. First, it was Mark. He'd tried to pay for the $2,000 catering bill, and his card was declined. Then it was my father, sounding frantic because the automated home maintenance wire for the estate had bounced. I answered the phone while pulling into a drive-thru for a burger, the most poor meal I could think of. David, what did you do? My father screamed. The bank just called. The mortgage is 3 months behind. Mark said he was handling it, but the money is gone. Mark wasn't handling it, Dad, I said. Mark was using the allowance I sent you to pay his own gambling debts. I've been paying for your life, your cars, and this dinner for 5 years. But since I'm a burden, I've decided to lighten your load. You're on your own now. It took exactly 48 hours for their empire to crumble. Mark's Porsche was repossessed, and my parents had to downsize to a 2-bedroom condo. They begged me to come back, to be a team again. I told them I was too busy being a charity case. I didn't take the money back to be mean. I took it back because you can't buy respect. If they want the lifestyle, they can work for it, just like the lowly developer they spent years mocking. My bank account is full, but my family tab, that's been permanently set to 0. The dining room was a theater of unearned confidence. My sister Chloe was showing off a $12,000 diamond bracelet her husband supposedly earned on a big flip, while Mark was lecturing the table on aggressive wealth management. They looked at me like I was a smudge on the fine china. I didn't argue. I didn't defend my career. I just pulled out my phone. Under the table, I logged into my primary business treasury. For 5 years, I'd set up a series of automated ghost transfers. My family never saw the name David on their bank statements. They saw North Star Holdings, a shell company I created to keep my anonymity. With 3 taps, I pulled the plug. 1. Recurring transfer, $10,000 per month to parents. Cancelled. 2. Chloe's lifestyle subsidy, $2,500 per month. Stopped. 3. Mark's corporate Amex, which I quietly backstopped, deactivated. You're right, Mark, I said, standing up and tucking my phone into my pocket. I really shouldn't be riding anyone's coattails. In fact, it's probably better if I just remove myself from the family ledger entirely. My mother sighed, dramatically putting down her wine glass. David, don't be so sensitive. Mark is just trying to motivate you. You can't stay a hobbyist forever. It's not a hobby, Mom. It's a business, I said, grabbing my keys. And as of right now, I'm officially divesting. Enjoy the main course. I hope you saved room for the bill. As I walked toward the front door, the first alarm went off. Chloe's phone buzzed on the table. She frowned. That's weird. I just got a notification that my car lease payment failed. Mark, didn't you say the trust was topped off? Mark laughed, though it sounded a bit thin. Probably just a bank glitch. I'll call my guy on Monday. Check your email, Mark, I called back from the foyer. I think your guy just quit. And since I'm the silent majority shareholder of the building your brokerage is in, your commercial lease is officially up for review. Happy New Year. I closed the heavy oak door behind me just as I heard my father's voice from the dining room. Mark, why did I just get an alert from the bank saying the mortgage is $30,000 in arrears? I walked to my boring 5-year-old SUV, sat in the driver's seat, and took a deep breath. For the first time in a decade, I wasn't the financial burden. I was just free. By Monday morning, my phone was a war zone. 147 missed calls, dozens of texts ranging from, "Hey, we need to talk," to "You're ruining this family." I didn't answer a single one until I was sitting in my favorite local diner, eating a $12 breakfast with a view of the park. I finally picked up when my father called for the 6th time in a row. He didn't sound like a mogul anymore. He sounded like a man who had just seen a ghost. "David, where are you?" he choked out. "The bank just sent a courier. They're starting foreclosure proceedings on the estate. And Mark is in a complete panic. He says his corporate accounts are frozen and his office locks have been changed." "The locks were changed because the tenant defaulted on the lease, Dad," I said, stirring my coffee. "I told him the rent was going up. He didn't have the funds to cover the new security deposit." "What are you talking about? Who are you to change locks?" "I'm the owner of North Star Holdings, Dad. I've been the owner since I sold my first patent in 2019. The silence on the other end of the line was so heavy I could almost hear the gears grinding in his head. "North Star, that's the company that sends the monthly wire," he whispered. You've been the one?" "But Mark said he was consulting for them. He told us he was the one who secured our retirement." "Mark was a referral agent at best," I said. "He was taking a $2,000 management fee out of the $10,000 I sent you every month. He wasn't building your empire, Dad. He was skimming from my charity." Suddenly, the background noise on the call changed. I heard Mark's voice, frantic and pleading. "Give me the phone. David, look, I was out of line at dinner. It was a joke, man. We're brothers. You can't let the bank take Mom's house over a misunderstanding." "It's not a misunderstanding, Mark," I said, my voice cold. "It's a financial burden. That's what you called me, remember? You wanted me to pay my own way. Well, I'm doing one better. I'm letting you pay yours. All of you. I didn't let them lose everything. I'm not a monster. I bought a small, modest 2-bedroom condo in my name and told my parents they could live there rent-free, provided Mark and Chloe weren't allowed on the lease. Mark had to declare bankruptcy and move into a studio apartment above a laundromat. The family cabin, I bought that too. But I didn't sell it. I renovated it and turned it into a retreat for underfunded software developers. My family still tries to invite me to holidays, promising no more jokes. I told them I'm too busy managing my coattails. They thought money was a weapon they could use to keep me in my place. They forgot that the person who builds the house is the only one who knows where the foundation is buried. And once you rip that out, the whole high-powered life is just a long way down.